one.
My electrifying Toastmaster, Varun. My incredible Toastmaster, Shubham. My enigmatic Toastmaster, Subhashini. My dignified Toastmaster and fascinating Toastmaster, Adarsh, the President and the TMOD. My fabulous Toastmaster, Naman Jain. And my astounding Toastmaster, Stanley Richards. I, Milind Kulapkar, Sergeant of Arms, welcome you all to the enthralling, engrossing, electrifying evening of Toastmasters meeting number 758 of Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club Bangalore, Karnataka, Bharat, that is India. Our club mission is to provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Toastmasters have helped people from diverse backgrounds to become more confident communicator and leader. I request you all to uphold the cardinal principle of every Toastmasters meeting. Keep your audio microphone muted at all times, except when you are invited to speak. And I'll give you 5 seconds for that. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep your video on at all times unless you're moving in and out of the room. As an encouragement to every role taker and speaker, make sure to applaud them virtually. Role takers and speakers will consciously use their utmost discretion.
DTM Milind, you have gone on mute. Still on mute.
I'll attempt to unmute him. Let's see. You might see a pop-up on your screen. Milind, sir, we still cannot hear you. No, I think we have lost you. Can you try joining from a different device if you can? Maybe from your phone, probably.
Tell me, I was not audible from the beginning?
You were audible until maybe some seconds ago, but we were able to hear a good part of it.
Okay, then let me start from the beginning at least. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
My electrifying Toastmaster, Varun. My incredible Toastmaster, Shubham. My enigmatic Toastmaster, Subhashini. My dignified Toastmaster, Adarsh. My fabulous Toastmaster, Naman Jain. My astounding Toastmaster, Stanley Richards. I, Milind Kulapkar, Sergeant of Arms, cordially welcome you all to the enthralling, engrossing, electrifying evening of Toastmasters meeting number 758 of Speech Weavers Toastmaster Club, Bangalore, Karnataka, Bharat. Our club's mission is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Toastmasters have helped people from diverse backgrounds to become more confident communicator and leaders. I request you all to uphold the cardinal principles of every Toastmasters meeting. Keep your audio microphone muted at all times, except when you are invited to speak. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep your video on at all times unless you are moving in and out of the room. As an encouragement to every role taker and speaker, make sure to applaud them virtually. Role takers and speakers will consciously use their utmost discretion while expressing their views on sex, politics, and religion to ensure the sentiment of audience are not hurt. Toastmasters and friends and guests, do you believe money grows on tree? Well, our club president firmly believes in it, and he's a trained expert in how to make sure money grows on trees and make sure that his clients are able to pluck money from their trees, as he's running a company which focuses on money management of his clients. He has empowered all his clients to grow money on trees. And not only that, he has also empowered Toastmasters to enhance their confidence to be better communicator and hone their leadership skill. So please join me in welcoming with a round of applause Toastmaster Adarsh Krishna, the president of our club. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, DTM Milind. It was an amazing introduction as usual. I feel so indebted that I get such introductions every single week at this club. It's amazing to see each and every one of you at this club today. I think it is our 758th meeting. Yes, formally, I would like to welcome all of you to our 758th meeting of the Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club. For your information, we are a 15-year-old club as of today, formed way back. We started out as a corporate club. We slowly transitioned into a community club, and I only joined this club 3 years ago, and it has actually blossomed quite a lot since then. There have been many ups and downs, but at the same time, the club has managed to sort of sail through all forms of wind and songs. So nice to see each and every one of you at the club today. I would love to hear from some of you. I have already spoken to some of you at the start of the meeting. I would love to hear from you towards the end of the meeting. But for those that couldn't introduce themselves, maybe say we have Talpa, who actually has not been joining as frequently, but good to see him at the club. Talpa, we'd love to hear from you. What are you doing? How are you? Nice to
I'm
see
doing
you.
good, Adarsh. Yeah, actually, I was busy because of my works, but I wanted to join from this week regularly. I think I will join meetings regularly from this week.
Wonderful. Nice to see you. We missed you a lot. So good to have you back in
Same.
club meetings.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Good to have you as a member. And maybe we'd love to hear from distinguished Toastmaster Kumar, who's been a regular visitor at our club for quite some time. Kumar, we'd love to hear from you. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm still bed bound due to the accident 2 months ago. I'm from District 102, the Kulwang Toastmasters Club, chartered in 89, April. I've been a chartered member since then.
Wonderful. Kumar actually
And club attendance, 100% attendance since then at club meeting. I'm quite happy with the COVID because it has brought me offline to meet other clubs as well. So that's one advantage that I took of COVID to enjoy these meetings. Thank you. Back to you.
Oh, thank you very much for joining us. He also has 100% attendance of having attended in the last few weeks at the club. So good to know that.
Yes.
It's quite a record to have. Thank you for joining us as usual every week on a Friday. Yes, today is one of such weeks where we have quite a lot of interesting things happening, don't you think? I think Bangalore is so hot. Myself and Milind were talking to each other just before the meeting started about how we couldn't stop sweating. I'm actually sweating at this moment as we are talking. So, without any further ado, I would like to sort of save you from this misery of having to sweat, and I'll take you to the interesting part of the meeting where I introduce the Toastmaster of the day of today's meeting. The Toastmaster of the day is also the president of this club. He is someone that loves this club and at the same time admires public speaking, more or less. And he's someone that's very passionate about reading books. He's passionate about talking to people. He's very passionate about what he does, which is his everyday life, his business. That is none other than myself, Toastmaster Adarsh. Thank you very much for letting me be your Toastmaster of the day today. The theme of the meeting is traveling. It's actually impressive that this theme has been given to me because this is the last thing in my life I talk about because I have not traveled in the last 2 years. And I wouldn't say I've not traveled at all. Yes, I have traveled, but I've never traveled at my own will. There was a meeting that I had last year where I had to travel overseas. It was against my terms. I didn't want to travel. I didn't see anything. The year before that, I again traveled overseas, but I did nothing on my terms. I have only had meetings the whole time. So in the last couple of years, I've never done any form of discretionary travel to make myself happy. So I'm going to leave this to the audience. I would love to hear from you on your travel stories. I would love to know what about travel that excites you the most? Because I know we all love travel. And by the way, I do love travel. I want to travel. I'm just waiting for the right time. Maybe after the financial year closes, I get to travel, I guess. I'm not sure. I would love to hear from each and every one of you, maybe starting with Subhashini, because Subhashini seems to have a smile on her face. I saw a very, very gentle smile. So maybe she knows what vacationing and traveling is all about. Subhashini, what are some of your, I would love to know about your maybe favorite travel story in life. I'm sure you're traveled, right? I hope you're not like me.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adarsh. Yeah, I love travel, but I have travel sickness. And but I love traveling or trekking. For that, I travel. And I always wanted to be part of a trekking club, and I don't know whether I manifested it, and now I'm part of one trekking club. So I can go on any weekends and for the destinations like Gokarna and other places. So these are the places which I really enjoy. And my favorite place, I'm from Karnataka and I'm from Tumkur. And I went to Goa. And people say Goa is like party place, but no, it's not only about party. There are so many places which is completely silent and no crowd at all. And if you go to South Goa, it's completely like a village and there's no one. And it was so peaceful and I felt like it was my home. And that was my favorite past travel history. Other than that, recently I went to Gokarna and it was extremely hot. And again, I don't want to go any places until June. So over to you, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Great. It feels so good every time when you give a topic to the table topics master because this is my only opportunity to sort of put her on the seat, get her to answer a very difficult question. I should have made it more difficult. I made it too easy. I feel so bad. All right. Sure, not a problem. I think maybe towards the end of the meeting, I think as the meeting progresses, I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. Due to the paucity of time, I have to go and call on our general evaluator for today's meeting. The general evaluator for today's meeting, I think he can do, I would love to hear from him. I would like him to introduce himself. But before that, maybe in a couple of sentences, I would like to mention that Varun is someone I have only ever heard. I have not seen him, to be frank, or not that much at least. I remember there's this group that we have called the Impromptu Speakers. I used to hear him talk pretty much every single day. At that point, I felt I was more acquainted to his voice than himself. So Varun, we'd love to hear from you. Over to you. He's our general evaluator for today's meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adarsh. So from from the radio, you get to see the video of this general evaluator. Very glad to be here at Speech Weavers and see a bunch of passionate Toastmasters, even on a long weekend. So, as a general evaluator, I believe that my role is that of an outside observer, just to see, what I can learn from this session, while also probably sharing a few positives, a lot of positives and a few improvement areas if you were to accept it gracefully. On that note, it is also my job to introduce the timer and the grammarian. If the accounter is in place, I will call out the accounter. I would invite the timer, Toastmaster Adarsh, to mention the timing.
Sure, thank you very much. As a timer, I'll keep my job very simple in today's meeting. I'll only be timing the speeches and the evaluations as well as the table topics. So I'll keep it rather very simple. Both speeches are 5 to 7 minutes, and I'll be displaying the green card and so on and so forth. Let me quickly show you what it looks like. Just give me 1 minute. I hope you can see the green card. So there's a green card, then you have the yellow card, and lastly you have the red card. So at 5 minutes, I'll indicate the green card, and at 6 minutes, I'll display the yellow card, and at the 7th minute, I'll display the yellow card. And that's how the red card, my apologies. And as far as evaluations are concerned, evaluations are for 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So at the 2nd minute, I'll display the green card. At 2 minutes and 30, I'll display the yellow. And at 3 minutes, I'll display the red card. Table topics are for 1 to 2 minutes, as you must already know. At the 1st minute, I'll display the green card. 1 minute and 30 seconds, I'll display the yellow card. And at the 2nd minute, I'll display the red card. And that's how it goes. Thank you. And back.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adarsh. I request the speakers to pin Toastmaster Adarsh's screen so that you know the timings. I now invite the grammarian Toastmaster Shubham. And before you explain your roles, I request you, if possible, to take up the timer role when Toastmaster Adarsh is speaking. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Varun. Am I audible? Okay. So good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As grammarian, or you can say police of the language, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts by any speaker. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce word of the day. And the word of the day is vague. V-A-G-U-E. I repeat, the word of the day is vague. V-A-G-U-E. And the meaning of the word is unclear. For today's meeting, this is the word of the day. And for example, so when you expect someone to answer you clearly, but if they do not, that is an unclear answer, and you can say that he gave a vague answer. Each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting, and also report on the usage of the word. Thank you, Toastmaster Varun. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shubham. I hope none of the instructions none of our instructions were vague. I now hand it over to the Toastmaster of the day, come president, come timer, and if there is any other role. Toastmaster Adarsh.
Practically every role. Thank you very much. That was an incredible set of reports. I'm looking forward to your report as well as the grammarian's report. On that note, the next session is our prepared speech session. And I'm hoping there'll be some travel stories in these speeches to add to the theme of the meeting. If not, we can just talk about what we love. That should not be a problem. Our first speaker in today's meeting is Toastmaster Subhashini, and her evaluator is distinguished Toastmaster Milind Kulakar. I would love to hear from DTM Milind. Milind, we'd love to hear the project objectives.
Yeah. Okay. The speaker,
Sorry,
Really?
Adarsh, if you can go on mute. DTM Milind's voice is echoing.
okay, I'll just try to avoid, just try. Is it still echoing?
It is a little bit, yes.
No, I think Adarsh, you have to go on mute so that his voice doesn't echo.
The speaker.
Milind, you have to mute one of the devices. Or I can mute it for you. Maybe I can do that, but I'm not sure which device you're actually using. 1 minute.
I'm using the microphone. Now it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
The speaker is good. You will be giving a speech on her project, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. It's from Pathways Innovative Planning, Level 2, Project 3. And the purpose of this project is for the speaker to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. And the purpose of this speech is for the speaker to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Timer, please note, the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to the DMOD of the evening.
Thank you very much, Milind. I would like to welcome our speaker for today's meeting. She is Toastmaster Suhasini. Toastmaster Suhasini, your speech title is?
Okay.
What's your speech title?
Becoming fearless. The journey of fearless.
Or the journey of becoming fearless. The journey of becoming fearless, Toastmaster Suhasini, over to you. Please make us more fearless in what we have.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adarsh, for that wonderful welcome. Who doesn't get scared to speak? Me, all the time. I hide my face and run away. It was 2022. In office, they were calling for social committee volunteers. And I badly wanted to be volunteer because I love doing posters and video editing and all. That was my only intention, and I didn't want to be a host, anyone who was hosting or anything. And my senior, who was aware of my stage fear, and he asked me, "You need to go and speak on the stage. You know that, right?" And I was like, "Yes, okay." And I joined because we had a group of friends. One among whom was extrovert, so we relied on her somehow and we managed it. But as I was very silent and never spoke back, so it was easy to be targeted, rather giving credits for whatever the good work I have done. Team members said this time social committee is outperforming, but inside social committee, it was easy for few people to blame things on me. I was very disappointed, and it was already 2022 December and was feeling very low and decided to do something and keep on growing. Then I decided to join Toastmasters. And in February 2023, I became member of Awesome Toastmaster Club. There, I met amazing women who always supported and uplifted me. Whenever I tried something new, they just keep on cheering me up. And there I found two amazing mentors. One is DTM Natasha, and one more is Toastmaster Ramya. Speaking of DTM Natasha's mentorship, she has 20 years of Toastmasters experience and wisdom. She guides me on how to weave my speeches to make them better. A few months back, I asked her to mentor my speech about manifestation, and she called me saying, "Dear, you have written your speech very well." And I felt great at that time. And then she gave me a couple of recommendations to improve it, to make it better for the further speeches. I learned that it's not just about getting the opportunity to speak, it's also about valuing the audience perspective. In other speech where I missed mentioning about my project, it was related to leadership. She guided me on what needed to be done and then encouraged me to work on it. This taught me to put in the effort to figure out how to improve. Even after mentoring my speech, she didn't stop. She texted me at 1:14 a.m. asking how it's going, making me realize I should put more effort by putting in more effort myself. As she is my Toastmaster mentor, she also helped me advertise my business with her expertise in advertising. Moving on to my other important mentor, who has been constantly helping me in progress. It all started when I spoke to her about membership. I have been watching her since the time I joined, amazed by the effort and practice she puts into her roles, which is phenomenal. Whenever I face difficulties, she responds promptly, even at 5 a.m. or 11 p.m. Her selflessness and professionalism are admirable. She was a teacher for a decade, and while speaking, she mentioned that she would sometimes fumble or forget what to say. Hearing this made me realize that because it and also relieved because it showed me that everyone has their own issues, but the practice they put in helps them improve. Both of them, both of my mentors emphasize on one lesson most of the time. That is practice, practice, and practice. Today, I speak confidently whether to a known or unknown audience. Even if I forget my speech, I won't hide my face like before or run out of failure, run because of fear of failure. Instead, I stand tall and face it head on. By the time I was completing 1 year in Toastmasters, I was ending my corporate journey. Just 2 more months were pending. My senior, after looking the changes in me, asked me to take initiative and host the events because by that time she started to rely on me. It was my friend who was extrovert and always helped to host events, and me, we were serving our lost farewell together. On our last day, also, my senior asked other social committee member to reach out to me for any help regarding hosting the events or how to continue the procedure or video editing. I thought, as usual, my friend will steal the thunder. But for my surprise and constant practice, I was fearless and spontaneous. One of my friend even mentioned that Toastmasters has changed me completely. And I would like to end my speech with this powerful statement, which I found on random Instagram post. That is, the mediocre mentor tells, the good mentor explains, the superior mentor demonstrates, the greatest mentors inspire. And I realized that I have the greatest mentors. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Thank you very much for that incredible speech in today's meeting. I would like all of you to give a round of applause to Toastmaster Suhasini for what was a very, very well-crafted speech. Even as a timer, I was listening, by the way. So good to see that kind of effort that is being put in. And that brings us to our next speech in today's meeting. And I can already see someone in this room smiling because I just handed this slot to somebody on the fly. And I am sure the evaluator has nothing much to panic about because the project objectives are the same. Nothing changes except for the speech title and the person that speaks. The person that speaks will not be me. So I'm going to let all of you guess who the speaker in the meeting is today. And by the way, I'm just trying, and by sort of wasting time right now, I'm buying some time for her so that she can write down or put together some form of a speech. So I'm going to let you guess who the speaker in today's meeting is. I think Milind sir knows. Milind sir, it's not me. It's not me. I cannot be a speaker. I cannot be a speaker. The speaker in today's meeting is Toastmaster Vandana. Vandana, nice to have you back at the meeting. I literally gave the speech slot to her, I would say just 30 seconds ago on the chat. And she told me that her prepared speeches are a hit or a miss. And it's always a hit, by the way. It's always a hit. She is a area level, district level champion, so I have nothing to say against them. And I've put a lot of pressure on her shoulders. So yes, for our speaker, Toastmaster Naman, I will not be your target speaker. Your target speaker will be Toastmaster Vandana. And I'm going to leave it to you to explain what the project objectives are.
So hi, hello everyone. And my target speaker, can I get the evaluation sheet and the other details? Because what I have is, I guess, is of your details or Toastmaster Vandana's.
It is the same evaluation sheet.
That's cool. Thank you. So my target speaker, Toastmaster Vandana, she is a level 2 project 2 speaker. The purpose of her speech is to practice the skills needed to connect with unfamiliar audience. I would be evaluating that how well has she connected with the unfamiliar audience, and it's her task to present the topic that's unfamiliar or new to the club members. So best of luck, my target speaker, Toastmaster Vandana. Over to you. PMOD for the day, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Okay, thank you very much. To introduce our next speaker, Toastmaster Vandana. I don't have much to say about her because everybody at Speech Weavers knows her pretty well. She's known for her doodling skills. If you have not checked her out on Instagram and other avenues, then do check her out because she's a very, very nice artist. She derives a lot of inspiration. She derives most of her inspiration from the things that she sees in everyday life, including us. I wouldn't be surprised if she actually makes a doodle of whatever she sees in today's meeting. Toastmaster Vandana is also a UX designer by profession. She was also in the financial service industry, just like me. She's very passionate, full of energy, an incredible public speaker. And I'm sure most of you already know her, so I don't have to introduce her to you. Welcome back to Speech Weavers, and your speech title is Vandana, you have to unmute yourself.
Figuring out life.
Figuring out life. Okay, figuring out life. Toastmaster Vandana, over to you.
I'm really bored. What do? I'm tired of being a stay-at-home mom and just not meeting people. Yeah, it's being a mother and all that, but I think I need to get out more and do things for myself. What's this? Okay, what's this Facebook event? Public speaking. Speech Weavers. Okay, this is not too far. I think I'll give it a go. And that's how my journey with Toastmasters started. It didn't start yet. It still went on for a year. I attended Speech Weavers as a guest for many, many months, even for the fact that I wasn't working. And for me, it seemed expensive to actually spend that money, to take a membership. So I kept thinking about it. But for the first time, I went there for my very first meeting, gave a table topic and won best speaker. And then it felt so good that I felt I needed to get back to being myself, being who I am. And who was I? I really didn't know, because all of a sudden I'm a mother. I used to work as a deputy manager with a company called HDFC Limited. And I quit that job, not knowing what to do, wanted to become an artist, but lost on the way. And then there was this thing that I was good at, speaking in the public. But what was I to gain? I had no idea back then what I was about to gain. So I started attending meetings, and before you know it, bam, lockdown. And I was at home, a couple of us Speech Weavers, all of them not very tech savvy. We didn't know what to do. and we started doing the meetings online. That's when we started creating a format, having someone called a Zoom, a moderator, all of these things. And we started experimenting with different themes, fun stuff, costume events, meetings. And this, all of us putting on a skit, 3 people as TMOD, reverse meetings and all of that. But what did it help me with? I had done a user experience design course, just a very short course. And what is user design? It's basically common sense, designing applications that all of us use in our daily lives to order food, to book cabs, to make payments on our banks. But these applications that we use are actually designed by designers like me, who had to learn what common sense is, what a user wants, how do they actually go through each thing. I want to make a payment. I want to withdraw money. I want to transfer money. All of these things that we do online on our phones, or even on ATM screens, or on kiosks at a help desk in a hospital, on our mobiles, on our laptops, on our digital watches, anything that requires an interaction by a user with a screen is what we work on. And learning this is not something that you gain out of a certificate course. It's something that you learn on the job. But how did I get this job? And that's where Toastmasters helped me. Doing these online events, I happened to be a part of attending a design event online. And then what do I do best? Talk. So during the Q&A, it was absolute pin drop silence. But I'd read the profile of the speaker. So I actually went through that and asked him questions about his project that he'd done in his college. He was nostalgic, asking him things about what he did years back. And then finally, I said, see, I don't have visual design skills, but I've learned UX design. I know how to make wireframes. What are wireframes? Just how a screen looks, how a user would use it, but it's just gray and black and white. Simple colors to make sure that we design an experience for the user. And so I didn't have the visual design where you see the screens that you see, which is in color with all the icons and things. I didn't have those skills. So when I asked this, the design head who was, attending the session said, hey, we have something here in our company, which you can actually do. And basically you can work up to the wireframe, and we have UI designers who work. So did you learn 2 new things, UX design and UI design? Did you know all of these jargons existed? And these roles were actually done by developers who do the UX and UI. And you remember our grayscale computers where, there was no color and very basic kind of applications that we used. And today you can see the difference. All of these are done by a team of designers who work to understand how users behave, how users, what they struggle with, how fast can they do these things. So all of these design skills, I was not confident to even apply for a job. But while attending that session, I networked with all the attendees. I picked up the participant list, and I actually sent LinkedIn invites to everyone. And one day I get a message in my inbox, an HR asking me to apply. And then I called and I'm like, okay, but I don't have UI. Oh, then you can't apply for the job. But I remember this person, and I quoted the person's name, asked me to do, oh, you know that person. And he happened to be the design head. And he's like, oh, then definitely you can apply. So sometimes you have to negotiate, right? Again, a skill I picked up during Toastmasters. And then I do a design test, which I thought I would absolutely not, get through. But designing a 50-page newsletter, being a VPPR, being a table topic speaker, being a storyteller, being a humorous speech speaker, evaluator, general evaluator, all these roles kind of prepared me. Then I call up my mentor and I say, I have this interview, what do I do? And Srinu tells me he works in IT. So he helped me how to deal with all of this. And bam, I became a UX designer. That too in the lockdown at home, struggling with, she was 2.5. I was still feeding her, all of that. So what is user experience? It is how people use applications, and we work on making this experience more intuitive, more useful. And this is something I want to put out there, because there are a lot of people who are creative and who want to apply for jobs which are a little more different than what we see out there in the market. But if me, someone who's done a BCom MBA, worked in finance, can shift my career, I believe anyone can do this. So use Toastmasters to explore the best of what you can and find new career. Finding myself. Back to you.
A round of applause to Toastmaster Vandana. I think this probably deserves a standing ovation, I guess, because I have never put anybody on the spot like this in all my years at Speech Weavers. Figuring out life, I think all of us are still figuring out our lives, I'm sure, in some way or another. A very, very apt and very relevant topic to talk about during a time like this. I cannot believe you crafted that in less than a minute. And I'm really glad we're not meeting offline, because I'm sure you've killed me by now. Thank you very much for taking up the speech slot. Always good to hear from you. That was the longest table topic I've heard from you in quite some time. So yes, that brings us to the table topic session in today's meeting. But before that, I would love to hear from some of you on your travel stories. Is there anybody that'd love to share some of their travel stories? Because believe me, traveling is not my cup of tea. I've not traveled in a very long time. I would love to hear from you so that I can find that inspiration so that I can travel maybe the upcoming week. Maybe we'd love to hear from Talpa, maybe. Toastmaster Talpa. Would love to hear from you on any of your travel stories. I'm sure you guys travel because I've seen some of your profile pictures. So I know that you travel pretty frequently.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yes, Rajesh. Yes, Adarsh. I traveled many places, but
okay, maybe one travel story of yours. You can keep it brief for less than 15-20 seconds.
Yeah.
What was the last place you visited and how did you feel?
Which is lastly I traveled to last December I went to Ooty. I went to Ooty with my friends. I spent 3 days over there. The first day I had visited tea gardens and there is the Beta Park, the Beta Peak. There's some locations there. After that, there's a toy train. In toy train, I had a fun experience over there. It looks and climate, when it comes to climate, it is very chill.
Great. Nice to hear from you. I think I've not traveled in quite some time. I'm sure it is pretty chill there. And I'm sure some of you are already planning our itineraries right now maybe we have a notepad open on the side on our laptops. They're planning our itineraries. Regardless, it's time to introduce our table topics master in today's meeting. I'm sure she'll have many more questions about traveling. Toastmasters Suhasini from the awesome Toastmasters Club, who also happens to be one of our speakers. It's incredible that she has managed to take up both roles. Suhasini, over to you, our table topics master in today's meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adarsh, for that welcome again. And hello, good evening, Toastmasters and guests present here. We have reached the table topic session. How excited are you to share your stories about traveling? Show some excitement, come on. Yes, thank you. And before starting with the table topic session, I would like to mention why table topic sessions are important, because it helps members to think very quickly and develop impromptu speaking skills. Who doesn't love traveling, right? Especially after our speaker mentioned about COVID times, I was completely frustrated staying at home for months and always finding reason to step out of house. But it was scary though, because COVID was very serious health problem, and yeah, deadly virus it was. Yeah, and for me, as soon as the COVID lockdown ended, I found major reason, which my parents wouldn't deny, was visiting college. And I met my friends after long days, and I mean, so many months, and I felt really free like a bird to go out there and spend some time outside and just to roam around. Next, with that, I would like all the members to use the word of the day, that is big. And for table topic session, the time duration is 1 to 2 minutes. For 1 minute, our timer will show green card, and for 1.5 minute, the timer card will be yellow, and for 2 minutes, it will be a red card. And for 30 seconds, you will have the buffer time. With that, we are coming to the table topic session. Do I have any volunteer? Anyone wants to take a chance? Okay. Stanley, yes. Okay, your question is, which is your favorite travel destination?
Yeah, traveling is a kind of enjoyment, I would say. As we live in India, traveling to different places, we can enjoy the cultures, diversification of cultures, and listen many languages. You know, I heard that the limits of your language make you the limits of your world. So when I traveled across India, I understood my limits because I couldn't speak fluently and understand what people says because I don't know how to speak Hindi. As I born and brought from Kerala, we don't speak Hindi much. I studied Hindi up to my 10th class, but later I didn't study. So that was my sad experience. Later I started to watch Hindi movies, but I gave up because due to lack of time. So traveling I like because traveling is a kind of experience. We forget ourselves. What is our pains, our emotional wounds? We forget. We have many failures in our lives. When we travel and meet more people, listen to people, we can forget ourselves and we will get some relation. We can relate to their stories. So, you know, in our lives, people are living in different places, but we will get some relations. Story, we can relate to their stories. They have the same failures and missed opportunities. So I heard many people's story. Then I understood how wonderful our lives. We are unaware of their language and culture, but we can relate their stories to our lives. That is how wonderful. So I love traveling. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Stanley, for volunteering and also giving such beautiful insights about traveling. I totally agree. Even I studied Hindi for more than 7 to 6 years. I think 7 years, yeah. And still, my Hindi is very bad. And I try to speak. I just text with my friend, and she tells like, "You better text in English or Kannada. Don't use Hindi." And yeah, and yes, we can relate to so many people. And when we travel, we meet a lot of people. Yes, I totally agree with that. Moving on to the next topic, do we have any volunteer? We
I would
When
like to
was
try.
Yes, great. Rami, okay. If you have travel mission, would you travel back or front, and why?
So I have 10 seconds, right? Okay. So given a chance, if I have to travel back or in the future, I would like to shuffle it. And I would like to travel back and forth. So today, if I'm feeling bored, I would go to back and would look out the things which went wrong and maybe try out to correct them. And then I'll get back to present. We'll think what future should look like. I'll go to future. We'll draw a beautiful future and again come back. Now, this was just one instance. Now, along with going back and forth, I'll travel in my imagination as well. I'll imagine if I go back, what I could do better. And if I go forth, how it should look like. Yeah, that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubham, for the really beautiful message. Yeah, I didn't think from your perspective, traveling back and forth in our imagination. Yes, we can travel like that, but we don't have travel mission. But yes, thank you for sharing that message. And moving on to the next question, do we have any volunteers? Anyone wants to take
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Toastmaster Vandana.
Toastmaster Naman here.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Toastmaster Naman, yes. Okay, yeah. Do you believe that traveling is important?
So I totally believe that traveling is important. The reason being for it is that coming out of your comfort zone. Right now, I'm just sitting on my chair, might be having a good dinner in a couple of hours or in an half an hour, right? But when you travel, you see the things which will literally blow your mind. So it happened recently. I was on a trip to Meghalaya. We went to a very fine dine restaurant with our friends and everything. Then I got to know that restaurant is a famous restaurant of Meghalaya. It is owned by a South Indian person. I was wondering, why is it happening? Then I got to know it's a tradition in Meghalaya, in the eastern part of country, that the most youngest daughter will get the entire property, and that person who is in South India, he traveled all the way from South to the Eastern to marry that girl, and now that person owns that restaurant. Right? It was an interesting fact I got to know, that how a South Indian person is having a fine dine restaurant in Meghalaya, in the eastern parts of country. Many such experiences will come on the way. When we are in a comfort zone, we don't get to meet a lot of people. Interesting thing again happened. I'm working with Wipro, having a very MNC client of a very big major banking client. I got to know the person who is on a trip with me. It's technically my client from same bank, same origin, same place, same project, different division, obviously. But he was technically my client, and we became such a good friend that he even technically offered me a job in that company as well, right? So whenever even you travel, obviously it was not my profile, so I can't apply to that. But the thing is that whenever you travel, right, travel with an open mind, and you will got to know the incredible ideas. And the most important, being a Toastmaster, you all can feel with me, we all lack stories, right? We want to deliver speeches, we don't have stories. And the day you start traveling, you have tons of that, right? The best thing that I got as a Toastmaster is that traveling gives you lots of stories. Now, earlier in a normal day, you will have 5 stories in 5 days. Might be if you have a good observation skill. But once you travel, you will get 10 stories in an hour, because something would happen incredible in every hour, right? Something, this story and that and that. So that's a very incredible thing, that once you start traveling, you start enjoying the life and would see some explored angles of the life. That's all from my side. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naman, for sharing your thoughts about why traveling is important. I totally agree, because I was thinking while you were telling about traveling, because every time, for even a small place, if we go, we get a story from that place. And I think from your speech, most of them got to know that they can go to Meghalaya and find a girl and they'll get a property. And yes, with moving all that, and I also wish even I had traveled with my clients so that I could go to Luxembourg, but that offer is gone because now I quit my job. So moving on to the next topic, do I have volunteers or shall I pick? Okay.
TM Kumar.
Yes, Vandana.
Kumar,
Your topic is
who?
Toastmaster Vandana.
TM Kumar. TM Kumar.
I think we can have
Okay.
one and then maybe we can
Okay, DTM Kumar, you can go now, and Vandana,
Okay.
Toastmaster Vandana, come back to you. Yes. Sir. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
what,
Yeah. Shall I
what's the,
tell the topic?
yes, what's
Okay.
the topic?
If you avoid traveling for for lifetime, what is that one reason because of which you don't like to travel? Why would you avoid traveling? The reason.
You are telling me I don't like. Okay. So I don't like. The
Yeah.
reason if I don't like traveling is because I am disabled, unable to move and take care of myself. So that brings me a problem of traveling. Even going to a shop nearby, I have to ask somebody to drive me up. So that is the reason why I don't like traveling. But otherwise, traveling is my love. I meet people, I see places, I see problems, how they are solved, how they are created, and I improve myself. But currently, I'm on bed bound due to an accident, and I can't take care of myself. So traveling is out of question for me. I know it, even if I want to go to hospital, I have to disturb so many of my friends to help me to go. So I have to inconvenience them. So as such thing, and for such reason, I stay back and I avoid traveling. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Kumar, for that. Yes, very emotional and very important message for us. But I'm pretty sure that you're traveling from one club to another club and giving your speeches every time. So
No,
kudos
no,
to
no.
you. No,
For the last
I
3
mean
months, no.
virtually.
Last 3 months, no traveling. I'm bedridden.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I hope you recover very soon, and again, you can do what you really love, that is traveling. Thank you for volunteering and sharing your thoughts on traveling. And can I have volunteers, or shall I pick them? Oh, okay. Sorry, Toastmaster Vandana. Sorry for forgetting. Okay. Your question is, yeah. Which one would you choose, solo or family or friends, group of friends traveling?
Being a stay-at-home mom and being in a beautiful house surrounded by greenery, I still felt stuck. I still felt like I wanted to get out there. And then my friend calls me and she asked me to join this group of 5 women, and she's hosting the trip to Meghalaya. And I have mostly seen Goa, a few places in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala, and that's pretty much it. I think when I was in second grade, I've gone to Delhi, but that's pretty much about it. So I decided, okay, now I need to set aside some money. I need to figure out if my daughter will be okay if I go away. She is past 3 years, so should be okay, and she's good with her grandparents. Then, okay, how do I balance work? I have to plan my leave. So all of these thoughts went in my head. And then I knew that my friend was hosting the trip, but I wasn't sure about meeting, find new people and, traveling so far away. I have to spend so much money. Was it really worth it? But it was worth every penny. Because I've done a lot of travel in the comfort of my car with my family. My husband loves to drive, and my daughter, we put her in her baby seat and we just go from Bangalore to Kerala. We've done road trips to Goa, but this is the first time I actually set out. And I was never fit. I did do some walking now and then, but I got to do this trek, and and was this to this double-decker bridge. which 3,500 steps climb down and up back with unique bridges and with these 5 amazing women. And by the end of the trip, I just came back with so many lovely sketches at each stop. They had these small shops. It's in a village in Cherrapunji in Meghalaya, and I did sketches of some of the people there. I got to interact with them, their reactions. When someone who's just going about their mundane life in their village, and then suddenly someone shows them a sketch. I did see a couple of kids playing. I got to draw them, so I got to interact with a lot of people being an artist, and I came back with a lot of experiences. But to be honest, I've never had the guts to do a solo trip. So my answer is I definitely want to do a solo. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vandana, for sharing your thoughts about choosing the trip. Yes, solo trip is actually the best trip I can say, because if we go on solo trip, I know it's kind of boring, but one thing is pretty sure that we will learn a lot. Rather going with family where we will be in comfort zone, and also with friends we are kind of secured. But if we are going on solo trip, then it's completely on us and we'll be more responsible and we enjoy everything. And can I pick today's guest, Chris? Chris, are you there? Okay, are you here? Okay, the next topic is...
Subhashini, my apologies. We are actually running out of time. But if Chris can revert, then we can proceed. Otherwise, this has to be... We have to wrap.
Yes, last topic. Okay, is Chris available here, or shall I? Okay, I think he is on mute. Okay, fine. One last topic. Would anyone wants to take? Okay, Toastmaster Milind. Okay. Your topic is: we all were between 4 walls for months without going out, if you remember, during COVID. How was that suffocation by staying at same place for months without stepping outside of house?
For me, COVID was a unique experience. I would say I was lucky that way, because my father-in-law was quite unwell during COVID times. And every couple of months he used to fall unwell, and he had to be rushed emergency to Sakara Hospital, Sagar Hospital. So that way, when I went, first time it was in April. So when I went, we had to get an ambulance. So somehow I managed to get at 108. We reached there, and Sakara Hospital was totally empty. Those were the most serious phase 1 year 2020. Hospital was empty. So we got the best attendance, doctors were free, everything was there. So for me, it was a nice vacation. Of course, father-in-law was unwell, but once you're at hospital, they take care, and then things. And again, after maybe a week, he's back. And again, after a couple of months, for me, COVID that way was a blessing in disguise. It was the best of all hospitals, Sakara Hospital, ward. It was almost like a place where you can sleep and everything. Beautiful canteen over there, and I could even walk down. So of course there was some restriction, but it is in around that massive space. And thereafter, that hospital had a registration with central government, but then that got closed. Then we had to went to Sagar Hospital near Adarsh's house. So even that was also a good experience for me. So every 2 months or 3 months or sometimes even earlier, for me, that was like a vacation during COVID time. At home, when I was there, though I was the only sole member who was to go out for marketing, to fetch dairy, groceries, etc. So it was a fearful time because we could hear ambulance going and a lot of closers were there, police. But at least I could go out, fetch the market and get those things. So it was a nice experience, and the best experience was Toastmasters Zoom meetings. Initially, like others told, it was very difficult to connect with them. Once we got connected, I became a DTM during that time. So COVID was a great help to me. I traveled physically as well as on Zoom globally over to the Toastmasters, famous Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Milind, for that thoughts. And yeah, I think you were a bit lucky there to go out and get some fresh air during those times. But even though it's for some other emergency reason, thank you for participating, and thank you for all the volunteers taking part in table topic session. And I would like to end the table topic session with one famous Kannada quote. If do anyone know Kannada here? I'll translate it to English. Okay. Okay, there is one line that is Desha Suttu Kosha Odu. That means we have to travel world and read novels to learn. Because of that only we'll gain a lot of knowledge. That is what they say most of the times. And with that, thank you for giving me opportunity to be the table topic master for today's meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Subhashini. It was an amazing session. I think it got all of us to think about the last time we all took a trip. I'm sure I'm not alone. I know some of you have not traveled in quite some time. I know that you don't want to open up, but I think it's high time that we all sort of get up from our chairs and go for a trip, because anyway, the summer is here. I think this is the perfect time for anybody to travel because even the weather is perfect. You don't have to worry about rains. Of course, we were expecting some form of rain this month. It never happened. Myself and Milind were talking about that as well before the meeting started. Yes, on that note, we are nearing the end of the meeting. I'm going to quickly call on the General Evaluator, Toastmaster Varun, to proceed with his report and call on his road takers.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adarsh, for introducing me. As much as we would like to have a timeless meeting, we have to focus on the time as well, because that is how it distinguishes us Toastmasters from the non-Toastmasters. And I also have a gift for each one of you in terms of time. So that will be part of my report. Thank you. We started at 6:38, again, for no fault of anyone in the room. I know you were waiting for a lot of role takers, but we still started at very well started by distinguished Toastmaster Milind, our area A3 champion. You started very confidently. You mentioned the club mission and the rules for online meetings. You kept your composure despite the technical issues, and it was a very good intro to the president. I wouldn't expect anything less than that kind of a professional presentation from DTM Milind. Thank you so much, DTM Milind. Can we all please give a huge round of virtual applause? Right. Thank you so much. At the end, we will unmute and give an applause to all the role takers, right? And then the president, Toastmaster Adarsh, took me back to, I don't know, 8 years in the past, where I was part of a corporate club where I would take up general evaluator, TM Modi, and any other role, that is up for grabs because there were very few people. Great job, Toastmaster Adarsh. I mean, you are like the player of the match and player of the series for just your sheer enthusiasm and taking up multiple roles without any wrinkles in your forehead. Thank you so much. It was a very good start. You mentioned the history of the club. You introduced the guests and even the non-regular members. I mean, I have seen this very seldom, where a president asks a non-regular member, how have you been? You've not been attending. It's not part of the rules, but you made this your own. And I would definitely recommend that to my 2 clubs. And I would also recommend wherever else I go that just because your members, they are members, don't ignore them. Great job. That's really inspiring. But on the other hand, through your theme, since we Toastmasters travel through stories, you can inspire, because as a president, your role is to inspire your members, whether there are 4 or 8. So if you can work on that, I'm really looking forward to many more wonderful presidential addresses. I can say that you're one of the most humble presidents I've seen in recent times. Thank you so much. Congratulations on that. Now I come to your part 2, Toastmaster of the Day. I will break tradition and I will give my review of the feedback of the Toastmaster of the Day right away. You discussed travel. You included traveling willingly. Again, I think bringing a new dimension is your forte. and you again engaged guests with their travel stories. There only if you had mentioned the time limit, because we got an additional table topic from our table topic master on that story. So only if you had mentioned the time limit, it would have been more brief. And I know there were impromptu speeches, but even before you get onto the stage, probably you can pause and ping them privately saying that, can you please share your speech title? I mean, I know it's in the last moment, I'm not nitpicking, but that will make it more professional than you asking on video, because a lot of people are following you, Mr. President. And you still manage to introduce speakers and role takers. Great job on that. Can we give a huge round of applause to the President and the Toastmaster of the day, and of course also the speaker, and what else? The timer. Okay. I think he just has to take away all the trophies if they are available, right? I now okay. I have the table topic master left, so I will do it before I come to the evaluators. Hope that's okay. And the timer and the grammarian, be ready with your 1 minute report so that I can call on the evaluators soon. Table topic master, Toastmaster Subhashini. There is no beating you in enthusiasm. And may I know how long have you been with Toastmasters?
From past 1 year, February
Okay.
2000.
Okay, thank you so much. Very good on celebrating a year. Please take my evaluation with a pinch of salt. I hope it will help you improve, because I've been here for a while, for close to 10 years. Intro to table topics was good. You mentioned the significance of impromptu speeches. Please spend more time on giving topics than talking about it yourself. That is the role of the table topic master. If probably you had cut down, all of us could have spoken. That's an honest observation from my end. Also, the observed guideline is you first give the topic to the Toastmasters and then the guests. Also, call out the topic and then seek volunteers rather than other way around, because that will ensure that every member is interested or invested in the topic, right? So they were very simple topics, and also your summation after each speaker has spoken should be in one line. Not for 30 seconds, not for 45 seconds, but in one line. I'm sure you will take this feedback positively. I would, and can we give a huge round of applause to the table topic master and the speaker, Toastmaster Subhashini? Great job. I now request the timer to just mention the time taken by the speakers.
Sure. Just a quick minute. The speakers, Subhashini took 5 minutes and 38 seconds. Vandana took 7 minutes and 17 seconds.
Thank you so much. I'll come back to you for the rest of the report. Now I call upon distinguished Toastmaster Milind to evaluate Toastmaster Subhashini's speech. Over to you.
My target speaker, Subhashini, her project was to give some snippets about her mentors when she was a mentee or a protege. And that was the project requirement, and she did beautifully within the time. And what I liked about, she took specifics about what they gave the hints to her and how she used that in professional thing, because that's what is the most important thing in Toastmasters. Yeah, Toastmasters, I always say it's a net practice where you practice your communication skill and make sure you use it outside Toastmasters, and that's what I personally have been doing, and that's what Subhashini did about that. So very nicely, he organized her speech. She mentioned them, gave the credit to them, and what she was before professionally as a communicator, and how she was transformed after she became a Toastmaster, and how then she conducted even some professional events which she used to always shy of, and how she was suffering previously, and how improvement. So that was also like an advertisement for, but today both the speakers were that way advertising for the importance of Toastmasters, how they helped them in professionals. That was beautifully done. And the way she was so engrossed in that, and the way she was talking was not a lecturing or something. Looking and she was the night, but her looks she was looking straight into camera, so we always felt that as if she was talking to us, and where she was just conversation. So that was there are two ways. One is the oratory skills which we use sometimes when in a massive public, but when we want to persuade someone or we are talking across, sitting across the sofa, and that's what is also where you are communicating. So that is also a beautiful way of communication. Great job done. So area for improvement or where she can challenge. Just the one thing which I have so far used, Subhashini. Since we are sitting, that's a good idea. But normally, make it a habit. Whenever you get a chance, always use stand up and give. Because standing changes the entire thing. Your hand gestures and your body language, everything becomes very lively. And that is also an important thing, especially in a Zoom meeting or online meeting, because everyone will be sitting, and so you'll be standing out that way, and your communication skills will be also. Even that's a very nice way of doing it. Your attention, moment you stand, it's difficult, challenging, but it has its own importance and significance psychologically, physiologically, and technically also. So just keep that in mind. Beautiful job. Over to the General Evaluator Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, DTM Milind, for a clinical evaluation. Just a couple of points on your evaluation. Probably you could have highlighted that she also mentioned the outcome of mentoring, which very few people do in this project, which is a very good point, which is a very positive aspect. And probably she could have focused a little more on her vocal clarity, because there were very good voice inflections up and down, but the clarity, I couldn't hear a few words, probably because I don't have a Bluetooth speaker headphone or what, I don't know, but you could have mentioned those 2 points. Otherwise, can we give a huge round of applause to the wonderful speaker and our evaluator, seasoned evaluator. Thank you so much. I now hand it over to the evaluator of the second speaker, Toastmaster Naman. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. So my target speaker, Toastmaster Vandana. So the title of the speech that you chose was Figuring Out Life, which was very interesting because whenever anyone would listen to the title, I totally believed it before the speech even starts. The title is one such thing that really blossoms and creates a curiosity in the mind of audience that what's going to happen, what it all about. So it was a very interesting title. Now, when you started the speech, you didn't give a general starting, which is good morning, good evening, like that. You started with your own thoughts, that what's going in your mind. Then you came what actually happened into your life, and then the story starts, which is a very, very interesting way of starting a speech. I really admire that point. One small suggestion going forward would be, whenever you speak, try to speak while standing, because it gives you a better body posture, a better hands expression, and gives audience a more relatable connect to your content, right? Whatever you're speaking. Now, coming back to the main analysis point, which was that how well the audience was able to understand new things which they're not familiar of. For me, it was UI. You shared your journey of UI, how someone who doesn't have very much experience in UI can become a very great part in the later on part. Also, being a developer myself, I have a bit familiar with the UI, but yes, now after you have given me that how you went to Facebook meetings and that and all, I got to try. Really, UI has a great impact on anyone's life. So kudos to you on that part. I really got a good glimpse that I was not familiar with the topic, but really after your speech, if someone asked me to speak, even I can speak for 1 or 2 minutes. That's a great part on it. Kudos to you for that. One place where I personally believe then you can make improvement is that audience interaction. And even in your evaluation criteria, it was clearly mentioned to have audience interaction with you. So for example, that one part that you can ask the audience, how many have you seen those bank data, those bank login pages or anything like that? Like you referred that certain points to make how to make a good payment pages and everything, you shared this point. So you can ask the audience that how many have seen those bank pages, that UI pages and everything. So it is created by some of me, right? So this is such questions to interact with audience. It makes them more aware that you are interacting with them. It's not a monologue, it's a dialogue that's going between the speaker and the audience. This is one such small point that you can add into your future speeches. Other than that, your speech was very good. Throughout the time, your voice was very clear and understandable. And also, you had a great closing that you don't share about your journey, but in the last, you also shared that if someone wants to become a UI designer, how they can come up to that field, or how can they become successful into that field like you. So overall, it was a very great speech. Kudos to you for that, and congratulations for delivering such an awesome speech. Oh, thank you, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naman. I must say that was a very enthusiastic, effervescent evaluation. A very good job. And yes, I have nothing more to add, but for one point that, of course, the speech could have been more crisp. But I really appreciate Toastmaster Vandana taking it up impromptu and giving wonderful takeaways. I think that is credit to Toastmasters and credit to her commitment for Toastmasters, which is taken away from. So huge round of applause to the speaker and the evaluator. Great job. And Toastmaster Vandana, I can of course relate to it, having pursued BCom myself, started with finance at an audit company, and now working as an events consultant after a role of content specialist at my company. So definitely, I think Toastmasters is something which helps us not only pursue a passion, but transcend different career lines. Thank you very much. That was inspiring. Now, I would like to welcome our timer, Toastmaster Adarsh, and please mention only those who have exceeded time, either in evaluation or table topics. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I'll quickly check my all table topic speakers were by and large on time. By and large on time. I think all of them are on time. As far as the evaluators are concerned, they were all on time. I don't think I have anybody that may have gone over time.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Sorry, were you saying something?
Nothing else. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I hand it over to the grammarian Toastmaster Shubham.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Varun. I could feel a bombardment of great words, phrases that came into this meeting. And I'm really inspired by Toastmaster Kumar that if he can have the spirit, we can have too. With that, I would quickly like to start the evaluation. My report. Starting with our Sergeant at Arm, Toastmaster Milind. He had no incomplete sentences, no grammatical mistakes were found on part of non sequiturs. There were it was completely flawless flow. He used the word of the day vague and new words which I learned from him would be cardinal and engrossing. Moving on to President, Toastmaster Adarsh come TMOD. The new words which will be taken from him will be impromptu and acquainted because he was acquainted of General Evaluator's voice. Moving on to General Evaluator Varun, he too used the word of the day, and the new words coming from his side were effervescent, nitpicking, pinch of salt, and snippets. This is how someone can make language so colloquial. And from Toastmaster Subhashini, she used some phrases, a small phrase like couple of recommendations, and she used good words as phenomenal, standing tall, mediocre, and she then had the superlative degrees of mediocre, good, great. And then moving on to Toastmaster Vandana, she used a nice phrase, put out. Moving on to Toastmaster Naman. Naman gave us a word, tons of story, again making the language so colloquial. Glimpse, and the rhyme he used, monologue, dialogue. Again, moving on to Toastmaster Vandana, she used a phrase worth every penny. So if used these phrases or words in our daily life, we'll grow as a community. Also, the last point I would like to make is there were some mispronunciations made, which we can work on. So whenever after a vowel A, E, I, O, U, if R follows up, we should not touch our tongue on the upper jaw. For example, Toastmaster Milind used persuade. So when you say persuade, you need not to touch your tongue on the upper jaw. Instead, you have to sound longer. Persuade. This is how we say. For other words, for example, Richard used later. Now try out saying later. Or if he has said understood, this need not to be understood, but understood. Other than that, I know we are Indians, but if we can try calling out the yellow as yellow and not yellow, would do good and would be honor to the language. Also, if we can say among as among and not among, that would again be a respect for the language. Yeah, that's it. And over to you, General Evaluator.
Wow, thank you so much, Toastmaster Shubham. It was a very interesting grammarian session, and I would recommend you to give a short educational session to the club in a few aspects of grammar, and give a few tricks and tips for the members. Very nice, very well done. And before I wrap up, I really I resonate with Shubham, and in fact I wanted to add it at the end of my evaluation that kudos to you, distinguished Toastmaster Kumar, because our Toastmasters movement is running for 100 years and going strong because of committed members like you, and we continue to seek inspiration from you. Of course, I seek inspiration from people like DTM Milind and everyone else for the commitment, but kudos to DTM Kumar. Please keep traveling to through the hearts of all of us by your mere presence. And thank you so much, Toastmaster Adarsh, for this wonderful opportunity of being with you all on Good Friday. Over to the President and the TM Modi and the Speaker and the timer, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Thank you very much. I am not the speaker. It was actually Toastmaster Vandana, but it was amazing to actually be a speaker in other ways. That was an incredible general evaluation report from Toastmaster Varun. I always expect something like that from him. A round of applause to Toastmaster Varun, as well as our grammarian Toastmaster Shubham for their sincerest efforts. Of course, due to the lack of time, I have to wrap this up as early as I can. And the quote on the caption clearly says, to travel is to live. Clearly, traveling is an important part of life, something that I miss doing. I have not done that in quite some time. So it's high time that I go pack up my bags. Actually, I am going out tomorrow for that matter. So it's time I go home and pack up my bags and enjoy a trip. And I would request all of you to do something very similar, because summer is meant to be enjoyed. You're supposed to explore. You're supposed to go trekking, you're supposed to go camping and whatnot. It's that time of the year, so make sure to go home and have some fun. And Vandana has already posted a doodle on the members group, which I'll share on the Road Takers group as well. So great of her. Thank you very much. And I'm going to quickly hand it over to myself as the president of today's meeting. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for making this meeting possible. I would love to thank the General Evaluator, Toastmaster Varun, for making himself available in today's meeting. I would like to thank Toastmaster Shubham. Thank you for joining us, Stanley. Wonderful to have you as a guest. And TM Kumar, DTM Kumar, always a pleasure to have you at the club.
Thank you. Welcome. See you. Keep me informed of your meetings. I hope to be there. And online, huh?
Yes.
I can.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Subhashini. Thank you, Naman. And then we have Chris, who has joined us as well. Although we couldn't hear from you, we'd love to hear from you sometime. On that note, I would like to adjourn meeting number 758 of the Speech Weavers Toastmasters Club. And once I stop the recording, obviously we are all free to talk to each other.